look, it's almost 12 o'clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh, Volare.
Like I was going to say, I'll be great once you fix your mic.
How about now?
Now you're good.
Maybe I shouldn't have sung Volare so soon.
Maybe not.
Is Volare generally a celebratory song, or is it for a car?
Don't do a Volare lap.
I thought it was a car when I was a kid. Oh, Plymouth Volare.
There was the Volare. Whoa. Go.
How can I Volare?
Your car, ho, ho,
whoa, 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 whoa. It's got 4 on the floor.
So drive the comfortable way, Volare.
Hoo, hoo.
I believe my friends, my neighbors, the Smiths, had a Volare wagon.
Oh, that was a good group.
Yeah. I liked them better when they were Volare Starship.
And we'll be back with stuff that sounds good wordplay. Nah, can't even do a good thing. I'm done. I'll see you later. I'll see you Wednesday, okay?
Cashing out.
No, don't really do it. Don't do it because I can't. I'm not going to be any better Wednesday if I leave like this.
No, and then we have the old Christmas problem. So.
Oh my God, we're going to have to do it. Oh my God. What are we going to do?
I don't know. Maybe we'll just do a shorter show.
You know, what do these fucking people want from us? I mean, what the hell? I mean, we're not, right?
Right.
Right?
These people already had their Christmas.
Yeah. When are they going to give back to us? New Year's. Why don't they record? Why doesn't Preet Bahar 3 and Perush record something for us?
Because if you say that, they will.
Oh, no, I'm just kidding. All right. I made a New Year's resolution. Shorten my stupid bits.
Okay. All right. So 2 Jews, 2 mics, 1 hour.
No, it's going to be the same time, but I'm going to have a lot more things to say this time.
Oh, okay, good.
All right. Do you have any special? By the way, I'm trying to. I spent 10 minutes before this trying to finger prick myself, and I can't do it. I mean, we're going to do it, but so far it hasn't been successful.
You're finger pricking yourself?
Yeah, for diabetes 2. I'll have 2 diabetes.
Yeah.
I'll have diabetes the second, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my endocrinologist, she just keeps telling me I have type 2 diabetes. That's right. I was like 1 Corinthians or something. 2 Corinthians.
Yeah.
So she keeps telling me that, but it's all based on if this is this and this is this and this is this, then you should be on, then you have it. But that doesn't make sense to me. So the only real way to do is to do my blood every day and find out what is happening.
Okay.
You know the A1C, right?
I know that it relates somehow to blood sugar.
Yeah, what it does is it measures over a 3-month period how much what your blood is like, using a different system, which I don't know what it is. But the most accurate way is every day to take the finger prick. So,
and what's the finger prick saying?
We haven't been successful yet.
Oh, you have yet to do a finger prick?
Well, my sister, before she died, which I think was better than doing it after she died, she sent me 3 years ago when this was supposed to be first addressed, when I was supposed to first see. And my sister was going, I don't know why she's saying this, because my sister had type 2 diabetes, knew everything about it. She goes, what you need to do, Andy, is you got to check out what your thing is every day. She gave me a whole machine, a whole get up, and I didn't do it.
Okay.
So now I'm doing it again.
But your doctor said you are, in fact, type 2 diabetic?
No, my doctor said that she also agrees the finger pricks are the only way to tell. But she's going by the other thing. She's saying that the fact that I have high blood pressure and the fact, or even though it's controlled, and the fact that my cholesterol is always okay, but it's a little borderline. But I think my cholesterol is fine because I had another test on it. And in other words, it's just, these are all things that indicate. Now, maybe I'll end up being on, what I'm taking now, but I'm just trying to evaluate because I never knew I really had it.
All right. Well, this is a very sketchy story, regardless of how you tell it.
What? I mean, I'm not giving the details.
Well, I can't quite tell who's telling you have diabetes.
My endocrinologist is saying, first of all, my endocrinologist, and I'm not going to say her name, but she has her own issues. And so I have to find a new endocrinologist. Okay, but she definitely has her own issues. So she's all over the map. She never has my numbers. She never has the thing. She's always, so that's a main problem. And that goes along with problems I've had my whole life of not being able to replace doctors or, whatever the thing is, or finding a good doctor. So that's part of it. But then she would just start saying, well, you have type 2 diabetes. Just like every time I would come in, when she first said, we're going to see. And then I talked to her the other day. She goes, well, I think, looks like you probably, but I don't understand it really. I don't have any symptoms.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry because you must have excellent my blood sugar is okay. I'll let you know in a month what's happening. Either I will have to, and don't start me on those freestyle Libres.
Okay.
You know what those are, right?
I know. They're just words that fly by on MSNBC.
No, you put, you put a device, a contraption that kind of attaches to your arm. Right. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, it's an onboard.
Yeah, but it's not as accurate as the finger pricks.
But it is if you don't ever do the finger pricks.
I don't know, Josh. But I guess the point I'm saying, I know it's a boring conversation. I know I didn't tell it well, but here's the thing I'm trying to find out. When you have a certain disease, you have this, that, and the other. Like if you have polio, you have polio. Or if you have the flu, you have the flu. But this is not one of those types of things.
See, but I kind of think it is.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Give me a number. Give me a name and a number. Well,
I think there are very definite benchmarks that say you are. Okay,
so either I could be living in denial. That could be it. But
it sounds like you're dancing around something to me. Like like you're trying to just not admit that it's the case, or you're getting your endocrinologist is so bizarro, that you can't decipher what she's saying.
Well, that's kind of part of it is the way I don't see. She's not a doctor that I could talk to, so I had to find someone who's good.
Do you have
not that they're good or not good?
Do you have a GP? I mean, do you have?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I mean, he's not very, and he doesn't do. My GP's. I don't really have a good anything right now.
An internist?
No, I don't. I have to find one. Right. I mean, Susan and I have been trying to find one for years. We have a guy we see over the hill, but we're going to see.
Maybe you should see someone younger.
I like the fact that he has white hair coming out of his pubic. Here's the thing. If you have to have your feet amputated, then you had type 2 diabetes. You know what I mean?
That's true.
There's got to be something.
I'd like to think that there's a stopgap.
No, I don't want to wait till that. Josh, my feet, granted, they hurt, but I like Lickamade and,
the sugar is never a good issue with you.
Look, wait a second now. What is it? I know. I may have to stop everything. No, but one thing you should realize, I'm on diabetes medicine. I've been on it for 4 years.
Yeah, I knew that. But
I'm not a complete liar.
But even then, it was like, because my sister prescribed it to me.
Oh, no. Here's the thing. My sister told me she thinks metformin is it's like a really great drug that helps your body make insulin. But my endocrinologist goes, nah, that doesn't really do that much. It's the shot I'm taking into my stomach.
Huh.
So because she hasn't increased my dosage like my sister wanted her to, I don't know if more metformin would work. This is the greatest conversation. You know what? Forget Friday. Forget Fridays.
It really is awful.
No. Goodbye, Fridays. I don't know, Josh. I don't want to die. I guess that's the thing. I really think I'm going to die now. You told me previously no. It's, you know what? I'm starting to lose. I'm not losing my mind.
Yeah.
I'm starting to go a little bit, it's starting to get to me.
Yeah. A little bit, little kooky cabiny.
It's not even the cabiny. It's I won't go in to have blood work done.
Yeah.
I won't have my teeth drilled.
Yeah.
I'm not doing any of that stuff.
Yeah.
You can't tell me they know that if I'm sitting in a dental chair with people buzzing around me like a bee, that I'm not going to get the COVID over there.
Yeah.
I bet you haven't been to a dentist.
I have not, and they're hounding me pretty good.
But are you?
And I have no problems. I have no problems. I'm just.
Oh well, you have good teeth.
I'm just due for a cleaning.
I wish I had your teeth. I've seen these families. My mother, before she died, she would spend like an hour and a half upstairs with all kinds of medicaments and temporary bridges, and the whole family has horrible teeth.
Yeah.
Maybe my father was okay, but everybody else, I would go and have 10 cavities. Next time, 17
cavities.
Hold on,
just give me 1 second here.
Yeah.
Is anyone under 90 still listening?
What are you doing? What are you spraying?
I was pounding on the microphone.
Oh, it sounded, you know what it sounded exactly like? It sounded like you were about to do some spray paint.
Ah.
Okay. Let's stop talking about this and let's talk about my goiters. I don't have a goiter, but it sounds terrible. Those are terrible, right?
They're pretty awful.
I do have, okay, forget it. I was going to tell you that I do have some old people symptoms, but we already know that already. But I have psoriatic arthritis.
Yes.
I have psoriasis. I have stare decisis.
This is awful, Andy. Please stop.
Okay, I'll stop. I will decompress. I can't stop. I will tell you this. I'm not doing it to be annoying. I am annoying.
No, there's something pathological going on here, but I need to shut it down.
Okay, I'll shut it down.
Because you're making me.
Why don't you take over the meeting?
I'm starting to have mystery symptoms from talking to
you. You take over.
All right.
Maybe I shouldn't talk yet.
Wow. So it'd be all had a good Christmas.
What are you talking to them for?
Because they're more interesting.
This is terrible. You took a terrible thing and made it worse. Now, I just want you people to know that there is one of us still on the job.
Yeah.
Who cares about your Christmas? Oh, so you want me to talk like it's after Christmas? I know your game.
No, it's okay. Did you find your booze for your trifle?
We decided on our own. We made an audible call, and we have Chambord, and that will probably be excellent. That's what we're thinking.
Yeah.
Which is making raspberry style stuff.
All right.
But we could have. I was attracted to that one. We do enjoy port.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll get another. I had Cockburn's port.
Yeah.
That was okay.
Yeah.
But next time I'm going to get yours, which is the stalagmites.
The Taylor Fladgate is good.
Yeah. But you did tell me something that I normally would do. If you don't know, you go with the slightly more expensive version.
If you're going at the grocery store level.
Right. And the thing about it is, you know how they used to say cooking sherry? Wasn't that when Americans drank worse wine? I mean, why should you ever put cheap anything in food is my question.
Well, it doesn't, because ultimately it's the alcohol that's doing the reacting with the food. So.
That makes sense. Yeah, it does. What is the alcohol? Oh, what does the alcohol do to the food exactly?
I don't get it.
Ferments it?
No, it doesn't ferment it, but it does.
How do you know? Hey, I got in the whole thing last night. Tawny port.
Tawny port is good, and that's one where the age is a big difference too.
And it gets more brown as it gets older.
Yeah,
it gets more tawny colored.
Yes, but the difference between a 10 and a 20-year tawny port is noticeable.
Have you ever tried Tawny Catane? No, that's a name.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It must be nice for you up in I'm a perfect person land, up over there at. Why can't I find someone who could converse on the level that I do?
Let me just say, did you know
Phil?
That tonight's the longest night of the year, and it feels like it.
I forget you went the other way with it. I went with I always think of it as the shortest day. Okay, I will say one thing. No one has ever said about winter solstice ever to me, hey, the longest night of the year is coming up. They always pitch it as the shortest day of the year.
Well, watch Rachel Maddow.
Is she on it now? Is she all over it?
She'll open her show by talking about how it's the longest night of the year, and then you'll shut the fuck up.
Hey, I think this is going further than just me being bad. I think there's something else going. How was your weekend? Did someone get you pre-launched?
Everything is fine. I've been actually watching a lot of stuff. And
what have you been seeing?
And retaining very little of it. But I got into the HBO Max is finally available on the Roku platform.
It's very Dennis Millery. So Dennis, do you have the new HBO Max?
I got it finally now that it's on the Roku. I downloaded the app on the Roku.
He wouldn't have a career if there weren't words like that.
The Max.
So what's now these are again though, so I know these are things I can't get on the HBO normally, right?
It's an expanded universe of shit.
Yeah. Anything good?
Yeah, there's plenty of good stuff. I mean, I don't know that it's enough that I would pay for it separately from HBO. I mean,
right.
you get it I got it because I subscribed to HBO already.
Yes.
But yeah, some good movies, and I've watched.
I subscribe to HBO too because it's on my cable, right? So I'm in the same position you are.
Yes, you are.
Assuming, isn't it nice?
Except not signed up.
What do I have to sign up in a different area?
Yeah, you got to just hook up the app, or go online and do it.
Now it looks like there was I heard something on the radio today about the people involved in organization called Move, and their house in Philadelphia, and their house was bombed, and they went to jail, and it's all about this. Did that ring a bell to you?
No, it doesn't at all.
But it sounds interesting. But that might be just regular HBO docs.
Yeah.
Did you see Zappa?
No, I have not.
I want to see that one. Looks interesting. I love documentaries, as you know.
Yes. I like them so much, I started making them.
Yeah, well, I might start one day. I have no desire to make them. So that's why you're a documentary filmmaker.
Yes, I think that is one.
And I'm a Jew.
Did you see that, the preview of the Beatles, Peter Jackson thing that he published today?
No. What is it? I've never heard anything about it, which I'm finding a lot. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
A lot.
Peter Jackson got a hold of all the footage from Lindsay Michael Hogg, who shot Let It Be.
Wow. I think you brought this up before.
Maybe. And he's making his own doc with the footage. And
you're mad about this, right?
I'm not mad about it. And having seen the preview, I'm not mad about it. But it's, the thing is, it feels very motivated by McCartney to me.
Yes, it does sound like a McCartney thing. How can I get back in there and correct all of what I assume?
Because Let It Be didn't in fact make him look that good.
But I loved watching it.
It was great, and I sort of contend, even after just seeing 5 minutes of a montage of this footage, where it's clear, sure, they were having plenty of fun at different times, but in all these shots, they're also acutely aware that there was a camera right there, So it's like 5 minutes of them mugging in various ways for the camera, So I could see how if I was Michael Lindsay Hogg and faced with the same footage, and as a documentarian, your job is to find a story in all this.
Yes.
And no matter how much fun they had, those sessions were still the story of a band falling apart,
Which I thought was the story.
Which is the story.
I loved it. That's why I loved it.
It's the story of Let It Be.
Yeah, right.
But,
the original documentary, which I loved.
McCartney contends, oh no, we were having a great old time,
Well, that's living in denial, because that's his whole thing.
But I'm sure there was, but both were true, is my point. But, your job as a documentarian is to make a story happen from what happened, is to carve out a story. And I would think it's very likely if someone without without any sort of Beatle baggage came to that footage, they might carve out a story closer to Let It Be than what's coming out, you know?
Right. Oh, I see.
If you were a real documentarian going, what's going on here?
Yes.
So it remains to be seen how much Peter Jackson will put of the conflict that was going on.
If they don't
the
put
passive aggression that was going on.
Which is some of the best stuff I ever saw. I saw it on acid in college and was the greatest thing I did. I thought I was watching them like they came over to the house and started arguing.
Yeah.
But that's the weird thing. I never saw it again after that night. And it was like, I'll never forget it either. And I also saw a Magical Mystery Tour that night too, also as part of the.
That you forget.
There were some funny things in it, but I would never watch that. That was actually entertaining on LSD.
I would hope so, because it sure as hell wasn't on not LSD.
Yeah. That one I couldn't watch again.
No. Let It Be I used to rent on VHS repeatedly.
I want to see it again now. Are they saying that's not, didn't they just, is it available, the original one? Or is McCartney pulled it, or what's the deal?
It's been sat on for years and years. Like it never came out on DVD.
It was a work made for hire, you think? You think they owned it?
No, I don't know. I don't know what the complication is, but you know, I
recommend that anybody see it.
I suspect that, you know, McCartney would have to say yes to the music.
Yeah.
Not actually.
That's true.
Not that he owns it, but you know,
right. He just so on behalf of Universal.
Yeah.
Is that who he sold it to?
No, it's Sony.
Oh. Well, can you repeat the joke?
Well, it was Michael Jackson, and then Michael Jackson merged with Sony.
But the recent sale was to Sony? Who just sold? Oh, I mixed up Dylan and McCartney.
Yeah. Dylan.
Okay, so Dylan sold to who?
Dylan's Universal.
Okay. Boy, that really made me feel like the only thing that stopped that from becoming a bad argument was that I more and more know that I'm most often wrong, so I pull out quick.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because I knew that was the deal. Well, I would see it. I'll see it anyway, but I'll never forget it, and I'll never forget. Like it seemed like George and John were on the same team.
Yeah,
like being upset with Paul.
Right.
Those scenes do show Paul. Well, I don't know if you're.
Paul was the one who was gung ho to be there, I think.
Yeah.
And the others weren't that much. And I think, you know, that's what I think McCartney is trying to show is no, everyone was into it, you know.
Well,
and I believe that. I believe both are true, but I think the real story is this was a band near the end.
Absolutely.
And you know that because they abandoned the project pretty much and went and did Abbey Road instead with George Martin.
What's the top of the studios? What's that? Is that just a one-off thing?
What do you
where
mean?
They perform where the cops come and it's really great? And they do. JoJo was that live concert they did on the roof of a building.
Yeah.
What was that for?
That was part of Let It Be.
Oh, that's the greatest.
That's in the movie.
Final scene. Yeah, for some reason I didn't connect the two. Yeah. Well, why would you want to change anything about it? They were obviously having fun there.
Well, apparently that's a much more extended version of that's going to be in the Peter Jackson thing. So that's
right.
I mean, I'll see it because there'll be plenty of stuff worth seeing if you care about the Beatles, but I just don't. I guess I'm being protective of Let It Be more than anti Peter Jackson's thing.
Yeah.
And I hope that they'll let It Be come out and coexist with it.
Yes, that would be very sad if they take it like it wasn't in the original thing. I would think Ringo would object. I don't see Ringo objecting to anything. That's my image on Ringo.
Will there be money then?
I don't sign anything anymore. I don't sign any of my albums.
What are you doing?
I don't sign my albums anymore. That's good. I don't sign my albums anymore.
The part
I'm from Liverpool.
The part where you said me was good.
Me? Me? Boy?
Nope, you blew it.
All right, well, you're the worst teacher I've ever had. How about that?
You're the worst teacher I ever had.
Stop mocking my voice.
Stop mocking my voice.
Hey, they enjoyed that over at the Frank Conniff Land and Trace. They've enjoyed our I think everyone laughs when
because that's
that
really
bit
Frank.
is
I mean,
executed.
that's. I have to say that's more of a Frank bit than me initially. I
didn't know that.
I really did pick up. Don't mock me. Don't mock me. That the knee jerkness. Because Frank is so steadfast with it, I really picked that up from him.
That's so he's the originator of that bit.
I feel like he is. I mean, we both did it, but he was more.
Okay, I'm okay now. I'm glad we nailed that down.
It's because of him that I do it every time.
Well, I used to think that I loved the Beatles, but I was always a pro John Lennon fan, and now I think, they were all together. It really was a collaboration. I'm not talking, it was a collaboration. They were all kind of great. I'm not talking about Ringo, but he was, he's part of it.
Yeah, I would say like this past year or two, I've had another flip where
What's the flip now?
I'm a little more pro McCartney now. He's mellowed a notch.
Oh, no, I'm more like pro both of them.
I understand, but let me finish.
Okay.
And then, I just read that book of Lennon interviews, where he was such an asshole.
What is that called?
It might even be the John Lennon interviews, but I think it was the Playboy interviews.
Oh, okay.
But
what's he like? What is he saying?
He's just bitter and petty and completely dismissive of Paul and glory hounding things and, saying people stole stuff from them when they clearly didn't. It's just it wasn't an attractive version of him because it was just the narcissism was so front and center.
Yes, I can see that. Well, they're both narcissists, but in different ways.
Yeah, I don't know if I mean certainly I think it's a slightly different thing. I mean, I think McCartney is self-absorbed, whereas
that's right. That probably is.
Whereas
different.
I think Lennon was narcissistic.
Yeah, it's very hard for me because he's one of my heroes, and so is Paul McCartney, one of my heroes. John Lennon was always traditionally my hero. I always thought he was the funniest, but then when you listen back, they were all. It's just obviously like the collaboration.
Yeah, and none of these people make good heroes. If you're gonna take them whole cloth.
Well, I think that's the problem with hero worship, but I'm more of a hero worshiper than you are. Like, to me, when you love something, it's like you are in a sense getting to the essence of it. So the fact that John Lennon could be an ass, I mean, there are some people who it absolutely was. I hated when John Lennon would, imitate mental, retardation or whatever they call it, mental. He would pretend to be that, but that's also very British, very cruel kind of humor at times.
Yeah, and the woman hitting.
I hate the woman hitting.
Yeah,
I hate that. But the thing is, I don't want to go too much further into it because then why do I want to? I don't want to pull out of loving him. What's the woman hitting from? Just from that song?
No, from him hitting women by his own admission.
And did he ever stop? I hope.
Presumably, I don't think Yoko would have put up with it.
Yeah, the problem for me is that I don't tend to see people with gray areas because I was taught that everyone's good or everyone's bad.
Right.
So, it's like, I always get worried. Well, does that mean that we can't love John Lennon anymore? But it's like, no, it doesn't mean that, but it doesn't mean it's good. The good obviously was not good.
No, but I think it's, I think these issues are front and center in the world right now. And, I think that is the conversation rather than cancel, don't cancel is more about, what are we projecting onto these people and taking away from those projections,
Right. I'm not even making an argument. I'm just saying that.
I understand. I was as big a Beatles fan as you. I mean, it was,
okay, yeah.
It was the center of my world for years of my life. So anytime I'm like, don't want to like John Lennon, it goes against that very worship, But it also but all it does is add nuance to the relationship, My relationship is with the music. My relationship isn't with John Lennon.
Right. I think I think I know what you're saying. I just feel.
it was with when I was a teenager, my relationship was with the Beatles.
True.
But, as I've had to go through the journey of dropping people and Cat Stevens was bad for a long time,
I think that's really kind of what I'm talking about. And in terms of like being a difficult issue, it's like I found out, not kind of through therapy, but I also found out from my sister that my father beat us, me and my brother, she says pretty bad a couple of times.
Yeah.
And my father was my hero growing up, and I told my therapist about that, and I started crying. It's like, how? She says, lives are it's more complicated than we think. It's easy for me because he was such a hero that when you think that I was hit like that, it just kind of turns your mind inside out.
Right.
But I can't hate my father.
No, and you don't need to. That's not what
I know. Yeah.
Again, it's the other side of the spectrum that you have to look at. It's not like you should hate John Lennon or hate the Beatles because of that. You should really examine, what have how much have I invested in the wrong part of this relationship?
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, no, well, yes. I think that's a side effect of being a kid, where I was just like, I would form these opinions. Alice Cooper was in Vietnam. Eric Clapton's the fastest guitar player.
Right.
You just formed these very
but
strong
every kid,
opinions
young boy, especially, thinks their dad's the greatest. And if they do something to violate that, then it does rock your fucking world.
Yeah, but it was hard because I have no memory of it.
Right.
Literally no memory of it.
Well, there's chances that your sister's version of it is skewed too.
That is true.
That
is true.
That her version of what violence was from her perch watching it might have been much more traumatic seeing it than actually experiencing it,
I think it was a subjective thing because she says, like, first of all, she never brought it up to me until I was in therapy.
Yeah.
And so from her point of view, it's like, it seemed to go on forever, so she was like 7 and I was 2 or whatever it was.
Yeah. And even
or 8 and 3. So who knows?
Right. So
everything's different from the point of view of every kid. I know that.
Yeah, for sure. And certainly an 8-year-old is not a reliable narrator either, especially one 60 years later.
The thing that's hard about it is that it's very important for me to be able to talk about it, but I would never have talked about it when my father was alive or my mother was alive.
Right.
So I kind of feel bad about it in a way. Not that I don't include it, but it's just, I want you to include it. I don't care about it in that way, but it's like, I feel like I don't know.
You feel like it's betraying the family.
Yeah. If I had done it while they were alive and, done a Roseanne thing or whatever it was. People have made that decision from their point of view.
Yeah, but
that's what they wanted to do.
Right.
I would never have wanted to do that.
Yeah, but that's not, I don't think that makes you cowardly. I think that just means that they didn't make it so that you could feel safe to talk about it when they were alive. So your reward for their death is that you get to talk about it now because it's your rules.
Yeah, I think you're right. I just keep thinking, first of all, I'm thinking something impossible that there are people in the family who are listening to the show.
Well, even if they are, it's a conversation that you obviously feel is important enough to have in general.
Yeah.
It's not something that, they can retroactively get in trouble for.
Right. No. But it is that black and white thing where it's like, there's a part of me that says, well, if John Lennon ever, it's like, if John, it so quickly goes into OCD because there's no helpful use of it.
Right.
When I put myself on trial, there's not a reason. Nothing happens from that trial that's useful. Never. It's just an OCD loop.
Right. Well, and you never present a defense witness either.
Right.
You just prosecute yourself,
Yeah. Well, it's also how much I love, it is very hard for me because of how much my dad was my hero.
Right.
Putting him on the pedestal. Not good for him or me.
No, but again, all those things you loved about him were still true.
Yeah.
you know.
My problem was I was small when I was younger, even at 21. I did not want to hear about it from my brother or sister. I was did not want to accept that my parents were, could be fucked up. It was so weird that I was like that.
Yeah. But I don't think that's unusual. I mean, I think there is that. I think people have that kind of family loyalty thing, where it's like, fuck those people until somebody says something bad about them, and then you're defending the shit out of them,
Right. And that was what it was with my sister. My sister got the brunt of the abuse, and I mean, the perfect example is to me, I've never heard anyone sing better than my sister, and she had no confidence, and she, all she heard was, "I'm not as good as Barbara Streisand" or something. She thought my father said that, but it was just like, we didn't get the basic. Obviously, all three of us didn't get the basic. You're okay.
Right.
Okay, continue on.
Right. Yeah. And I don't know if that's because neither of your parents had that baseline security themselves and wouldn't know how to communicate it.
I can tell you why it wasn't in the case of my mother. My mother was severely depressed to the point where even some point times she was hearing voices, and they don't think the voices were indicative of schizophrenia. They were just, you can have what she had, in an extreme case of depression and hear voices, but she just wasn't, there was no way for her to be there.
Jew head.
But she was not there. She was always taking care of herself. It seemed like completely selfish to us, but she probably felt like she probably felt suicidal. I don't know how she felt, but I knew she was really, really depressed.
Right. And so you clearly have some level of forgiveness because of that.
Oh yeah. I do. I love my mom and my dad. I love my mom and my dad. It's this thing of like people standing around judging me. Like all of a sudden someone from a woman's group will go, we heard that you like John Lennon still. Which, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's just OCD.
Right.
It's like, it's OCD and I'm sure there's a lot of things like it's just hard to have both feelings towards your parents under any circumstances. It's probably hard to have both extreme feelings.
I think it's hard, but I think it's ultimately
it is. Yeah.
It's what it is, I mean, that's the honest truth, I still like John Lennon. I think he's an asshole too,
You like my dad more than John Lennon, though, right?
No, I don't.
Oh!
You should, but I don't.
But, the pressure I put on these people, too. It's like, I put the pressure on John Lennon. He's dead. Whatever happened, happened. But I've got to change his legacy now that I've heard this stuff. It's all just, if I could eliminate that voice, which I'm not that I'm able to do it, but I'm at least able to stop it quick.
Right.
I kind of wanted to hang up on you during this.
Yeah.
But then I thought it would be.
Well, I wanted to. First quiver in the voice. Come on.
I have not listened. I've listened to the show, but I've never listened back to me on a thing where I was having difficulty. I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah. Well, don't start now.
Don't start now. Oh, because you don't want me to come in with notes?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, I feel good. Well, thanks for the session.
Sure. It went all over the place. It went from medical panic or sort of medical two-step.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. If you want to change your mood, 10 minutes to the show, use the wrong setting on your lancet to make a hole in your finger. After about 4 or 5 where it doesn't quite puncture, you just feel horrible. Now get in there and give the best podcast you can.
Yeah. Well,
Susan right now is going over the notes.
The notes.
I can't prick my finger. I could, but I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I could. I've done it.
I think you're trying a little too slowly. Is what it sounds like.
But I kind of like being one of these people who has to monitor their levels all the time. That part's good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. It has a narcissistic ring to it.
Oh, you should see the new blood pressure machine I got.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Kickstart?
You mean like I did a Kickstarter for it?
No, is it a Kickstarter?
Oh, it's a Kickstarter.
Electric.
Is hand crank still a good reference?
I just, the Kickstarter was one generation newer than hand crank.
Wait, was it Kickstarter where you had to move it forward?
That's how you start a motorcycle.
Oh, still?
Well, what's this? House for rent? That's news. Wonder who's moving. I should have guessed. It's old Father Time. He's always on the move. And now he's packing once again to make room for a new tenant. The old fella's had a pretty busy year. He saw a new president take office and give a nation new hope. He sweated out a truce in Korea as the world prayed for peace. He saw planes fly faster than the speed of sound. And he ushered in a new era in motion picture entertainment as the screen gained new dimensions. Yes, he's been a pretty busy fella, but his time is up and he's making way for you. That must be the new tenant now. It is. It's the new baby 1954. Bright and cheery as a new dollar.
Okay, that's good. How are you tonight?
Good. I'm doing pretty good. I guess everything's relative because I always get a little nervous. The first Christmas after my parents and my sister die.
Yeah.
I am, what is it called when you're starting to be flippant? I think I'm being flippant about it now.
Well, I mean, what are you afraid of?
Oh, I'm not afraid of, maybe I'm not afraid of anything. I don't know. Oh, what am I afraid of feeling? Oh, I think I probably am afraid of feelings.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I am. Yeah. That's probably what I think I am afraid. I think that is what kind of keeps me disconnected sometimes.
Yeah. I remember after my father died, my mom was invited to some of their very close friend's house for New Year's Eve.
Right.
And she wanted to go, and she was like, "Oh, but I'm going to stay home. I don't want to blah, 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 blah." And I was just like, "Well, that sounds really maudlin, Mom." I was like, "What are you afraid of?" "Well, I'm afraid I'll cry." I'm like, "Okay, so what happens if you cry?" They're like your best friends and your husband died. You'll stop and then you'll move on. So,
what a good son. Seriously.
I was a good son there. And she went and she had a good time, and she probably cried too. But
oh, man. That's a good thing. And it really is true because, why am I, my mind wants to go, it's easier for my mind to go, why you're being flippant. So that means you're bad. So concentrate on that. How much you're in trouble you're going to get for people telling you for the flippant things you're saying. You're going to get a call from the mothers union.
Yeah.
But you look at it. What is it covering up?
Well, it's also just like, I don't think there's anything wrong with flippant either. I mean, as long as flippant in lieu of any other feeling isn't that useful, but flippant in conjunction with other feelings is fine.
I think it's almost like comedy though. I think it's a comedy thing. It's like when I went to that well, which I really did enjoy, which gave me a lot of joy to go to the ridiculous well when they died.
Yeah.
When I go back to it, it sometimes feels like a bit, it's like how you,
because comedy is truth, and if it doesn't ring true, even your defensive flippancy doesn't ring true, then it's just hollow.
Right. So what really happened there was, what I call, I'm going to call it right now. I don't know what the quickening is, but it's the quickening. As I get closer to so as I get closer to Christmas, I told my therapist I'm doing more and more like just every 10 seconds or every minute loop, seeing if I'm all right. Am I all right? Am I coming off all right? So she suggested to do a Zoom, our first Zoom. I think I told you this, right? No,
I didn't realize you hadn't done any Zooms. You were just phone.
No, we were just phone. So she felt like I said, and it was interesting because we talked about what we did with Joel. And I said, it is hard. It definitely is hard, especially someone like me who's all I'm thinking about all the time is how I'm doing. It is hard sometimes when I don't know why you're pausing,
right.
And so if I could see you, it might, so she was saying, she actually said, "Oh, you think you'll do that for the podcast too?" I said, I don't know. I liked it when we did it with Joel and you. I like when we did it with Joel. That worked.
Right.
But I don't know if
Well,
I don't know.
We spend so much time sitting across from each other doing exactly this that it kind of feels like we're doing that right now, honestly.
Right. Yeah. But
you misinterpret all my visual signals anyway. So.
yeah, it's exact. That is really true. I mean, that's an indication of how advanced the disease is.
All right.
Oh, so I guess if you were around Josh, no, that'd be worse because I'd be thinking catching the COVID.
Then you'd be going, what's that look? What's that look?
Yeah, what's that look for? I liked it much better when I couldn't see the look. Right?
Yeah.
Either way, you can't win. As my father would say to my mother, there's no winning with you, Joan.
On their wedding night.
I'm sure everybody has done this, and we've done it too, but I always thought, I am beginning to realize that my parents didn't say exactly the same things that all parents said. Not all parents said, you kids are aggravating the life out of us. That's not from everyone's childhood.
No.
So they had a particularly good or bad way with words.
Yeah. They didn't deal with frustrations well, it seems.
They were fine they were the greatest parents unless you presented them with a problem or difficulty that you'd like to talk about.
All right.
In which case, why did you do this? And why are you telling me now?
Right.
Oh, and the whole vibe is, oh, great. That's just great.
Right. That's what this family needed.
Yes. Or some comic has that joke about therapy. That's all I need is you and your problems, the therapist.
Yeah.
Bad therapist.
So are you guys Christmas Day centric or Christmas Eve centric with your celebration?
We were just talking about that today because we have always been, since we've had, in the years that her mother and her sister came up, which was till this year, the big thing would be on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And then Christmas Day, we'd have like leftovers and stuff like that. But then Susan said that wasn't the way it was when she was a child. It was more Christmas evening, but she decided to do it differently when she started having her own.
Okay.
Because I don't know, just the way it worked out. But now I can't ask you the same question, can I?
Why not?
Well, because you know what you would know what Alice. Do you know what Allison would do if you weren't there? Kind of. You do, obviously.
Well, the same things you do with me here.
No, but you know what I'm saying.
Food.
Yeah, but what was her tradition growing up? To have nothing and to be yelled at.
Yeah, I think it was hostility. But I always do. I do a nice dinner for Allison and I on Christmas Eve, and then another nice dinner at Christmas.
And what do you have? What's on tap? By the way, that came from a bar originally. They would have things on tap.
I thought it was that.
I just wanted to tell you
I thought
the
it was
derivation
that
of that
shampoo.
term. Oh!
I'm doing, I went to the store today. I was going to do goose on Christmas.
I've heard you talk about this in previous years.
Yeah, I've done goose before, but they didn't have a goose. So,
are you kidding me?
So now I have to wait until Christmas morning and a kid to walk by the window.
You there?
And have him get the fattest one. But
yes, sir? You!
What day is it?
Why, it's Christmas, sir.
It's still Christmas! It's still Christmas! I can still buy a large piece of fowl! Boy, go down to the butcher and get the fattest goose in the window. I'm gonna need some money, sir.
I'm gonna need a little tip.
Take this farthing. Oh, that's my eye, sir.
What are you, Monty Python meets,
What are you, Johnny Half-Joke?
What am I, Peter Premise? It's not TV that gets me, it's the commercials. Oh, aren't you sweet?
Aren't you sweet?
Hey, have we established yet whether they are then they are father and
They're not father and daughter. They're husband and wife.
that guy's 1,000,000 years old.
I'm telling you.
He sounds like an idiot.
I'm telling you that I told this to Jen Kirkman, who was very happy we went after that commercial.
I know. I read that. That was great.
It's a second family. You know, now he's spending some time with the kids. His older kids are fully grown. They would have loved it if he went to the ball game with them, let alone set up a living trust.
But why does he go into his own home and take an apple like he's a visitor, like he's Norton?
Why would taking an apple without asking be like a visitor?
Okay, I don't mean that. Why is he taking an apple like he's in a bad high school production and polishing it like he's in a play, like Damn Yankees? If it's his wife.
Yeah, I don't quite see the. I mean, the answer is because he's a terrible actor.
I also don't see any attraction between those two.
No, I see hostility. I see passive aggression and hostility, and her secretly wanting him to die and therefore wanting a living trust.
Oh, you will. And basically, she's saying, I'm getting it all, fuckface. I got the earrings. I probably won't even listen during the Burbank thing. Now I'm obsessed with the Burbank firm because they have another commercial where they show all the people in the Burbank firm.
They have another commercial where they're the guy's the executor of the will, and the woman's hanging the picture. Oh,
yes, that's...
You need a lawyer, and you need a level.
So, are they saying, is this one of those things like it's on purpose?
But it's a totally different strained marriage they're featuring in that one.
But do you think that it's one of those things like it's so clever, like it's an earworm, they know it's terrible? No.
No, I think it's someone's relative thinks they're talented.
Well, I'll tell you who is a professional. The guy at the Burbank firm who comes on at the end, who looks like he's sitting in a cloud. How come there's no office? Isn't it like a white? Is he green screened in front of a white wall? Yes. Why are they called the right?
He's green screened in front of a white wall.
In front of a white wall. And why is it the Burbank firm?
I think he might be white screened in front of a green wall.
Either way, it's off-putting. And what is the Burbank firm? Explain it. Why are the Burbank? Isn't it usually Schmeckel, Schmoopel, Schmicky, and Schmau?
That's one way to play it.
I told you there's a football player named Jacoby Myers.
Yes.
Did you explain why? What is this? Is that a joke?
I don't know.
It's like
things happen, Andy.
Okay, that would be someone's name is, what's the guy who does the taxes?
There was someone in my hometown who, the Barr family, who named their son Herschel and their daughter Candace, a.k.a.
That's not funny. That's really mean. Okay, I think I've exhausted my, Burbank firm material. Yeah. You know what, folks? How you feeling tonight? You feeling good? Anybody want to hear stuff about commercials and not even national commercials?
How about no?
No. When was that ever funny? The Matthew Perry part of that. When was that ever funny? That's jealousy because I want.
I don't know, but how has you being mad at it ever been funny?
How has me being mad at anything ever been funny?
Well,
they say now.
You've had your moments.
I have, but look, you always said, look, hour 9 of the Lorne Michaels material, I start to get a little edgy. You know what I mean? He can't have had that much of an effect on your life.
I might be looking at my watch at hour 9.
But what's that joke? I like my thing, but I take it out once in a while.
I like my cigar too, but I take it out once in a while.
I don't think that holds up. Yes, it does.
It wasn't an old joke. It was a Groucho on You Bet Your Life quote.
I know. That's why I started to fade off in my voice and think of other things. Because what's the point of what I'm saying? It's funny. He said it in the moment.
Yeah, and I don't know if it actually did say it, by the way.
And I don't know if what's your favorite place to make whoopee? I don't know if that ever happened.
It
the
did
butt?
happen. She did, but she said in the ass. She was very Roseanne-like, and they bleeped.
And do they have a thing of that?
Yes, it does exist.
They also have a thing of a guy who became a serial killer.
Yeah,
He was on the dating game.
yeah.
I have no point about it, but it's very interesting.
You just think the odds alone would say that one of them is going to be a serial killer.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, I don't know.
Bachelor number 3. If you were wearing my skin, have you hung your stockings by the chimney carefully?
Stop it.
Have you?
Stop it. No, I'm not. First of all, we're not hanging stocking. We're not doing anything this year.
Okay.
We
how should
don't
I
get
know?
defensive.
How am I the defensive
Why are you
one?
getting so goddamn
I
defensive?
just asked if you hung your stockings and you would fucking act like I fucking came over and...
You ruined Christmas. You ruined it just as much as my mother did. You and my mother together.
Yeah.
Here's you. I don't know who's worse, you or my mother. You're like, well, why would you celebrate Christmas, Jew?
Yeah.
And my mother's like, give it a shot. And you make a team out of that.
Yeah, I could see. I could see it working.
I'm just funning with you because you know what? You're it doesn't get in anymore. I've already dealt with this in therapy. And so what? That I was 2 years old and whatever I was and told that I was going to have a Christmas and then got pulled out from under my feet.
Yeah, I'm glad you bounced back.
Yeah. I don't need her. I don't need anybody. People don't actually say that. You know, people who are deranged, except Trump probably does.
Say which?
The actual deranged thing. Yeah. I don't need you. I don't need anybody.
Yeah, I mean, teenagers say it, and then, and then the deranged.
Well, that's why the guy on Letterman I used to love, who did the fuck you guy, and he would come out and he'd say, I just got a job on the Megan Mullally show, so I just want to say, fuck you. You know what people love about this podcast? They love me when I recall old bits from the show. Yes. That's what they do.
Yeah, it's the memory lane that really keeps them coming back.
On TV, right as I came in, is the man who came to dinner, and I forgot that we had seen that.
Yes, we have.
And the guy...
There's a lot to like there. A lot to like in that movie.
Yeah, it was. And also, you probably told me this when we saw it, but that it was supposed to be Barrymore in the movie.
I don't think that's true. No.
All right, then tell Ben Mankiewicz. All right, just I mean, you know what? How about you hang up on me now and you tell Ben Mankiewicz?
Is that what he said?
Yeah, I wouldn't make a mistake of telling you something I thought was a fact.
No, not you,
but
Chef.
He said
not you, Chef Blowhardy.
Yeah, he said that Barrymore, I forget which Barrymore, had drinking problems and he couldn't do it. So the guy who did it...
Which Barrymore didn't.
Right. But I think it was Lionel, but I don't know. But I wouldn't know the difference between him and... But he did say that the guy who did it was the guy who did it on Broadway.
Yeah, I guess that's what I knew, but I didn't realize it was because they couldn't get Barrymore to his feet.
Yeah, but you admit that because it came from me, you doubted it.
Yes, absolutely. You're not a credible source for much.
Oh, come on, Josh. That's going to eventually affect me emotionally. I need you to be behind me.
I want that. The Man Who Came to Dinner, Arsenic and Old Lace, and You Can't Take It With You to all fall into the public domain so I can combine them into one play.
I don't remember You Can't Take It With You. Did we see that too?
I don't know I know I watched it. We talked about it. But that's Lionel Barrymore. That's I love that one because it's Lionel Barrymore playing the sort of Jimmy Stewart role, and Jimmy Stewart plays the young rich kid.
Oh, that's against type for him. Shut up, Janie. Janie, look at me. You stink. Janie, shut your stupid mouth. Your hands look like shrunken shrubs. You're an unattractive person, Janie. Next day, Jenny, I'm sorry about that last night.
Dad got into the bottle, Janie.
It's okay, Daddy. I have to admit, though, it really was a little too much. I hope you don't talk to me that way again, Daddy.
I promise to make amends.
Okay, I want to play this new song I'm working on.
Get away from the goddamn piano, Janie, my head. God damn it, my head. Janie, for fuck's sake, will you please stop with the piano?
For fuck's sake. Janie, FFS. Oh my God. Why do I love that kind of a thing? That's the best to me. Janie. I'm going to hit you with this vase. Give me that banister, Juju.
They'll never find your body, Janie.
Daddy, it's Christmas.
I see if an angel fishes you out of the river.
Hee-haw. Hey, stop. Did they do his thing with stop? Stop. It's hee-haw. He was punched. Hee-haw. Stop. I got punched in the face for doing the hee-haw. Stop. All right. Enough of that. I'm glad you pulled the plug. Oh, my God. That was good, though. That was good. Why do I have to, just go on with it? There's no reason to evaluate everything.
No. We serve hard drinks for men who want to get drunk fast.
Hey, don't you remember me, Ernie? Ernie! It's me, Ernie! Ernie, it's me!
And that's another reason for me not to like you, too. If you know him,
What?
he said you must be jailbirds, too.
What? I forgot the line.
Out you two
Ernie.
pixies go, through the door or out the window. Get me, I'm giving out wings.
Happy brother. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy America. Happy America, you old bucket and blade. Happy. God damn it, you old chicken and waffle house. Fuck you old car wash.
Happy America, you old bucket and blade is really going to live in my heart for a while.
I really kind of. It's like a game show. Say things that are things that are terrible.
It's Andy Kindler. Words.
Good evening, good evening, old upholstery store.
I'm always see, you would think that I would be better at improving. No, you wouldn't. People who improv are not people who are good at it, just don't keep going on and on and on, break against the other person. Nobody can talk.
I'd like to see Captain Yassen come up with Happy America, bucket and blade.
Yeah, that's another thing I don't like about you. Clarence.
Well, that's another thing I don't like about you. You don't know how to work your ware.
You know what's amazing? And by the way, if you are listening to this, it's after Christmas.
That's right.
And many people would have said that many people wrote into us about how disappointed that we didn't make a meal. That we didn't make a meal this year out of It's a Wonderful Life. But look, we got to it.
Yeah.
We got to it.
We made dessert out of it.
Yeah. Next year, we're moving on to A Christmas Story.
Bumpus' dogs.
Hey, is the guy doing the is Shepard the guy doing the voiceover in the movie?
I don't think it is.
Is his name Shepard? Am I close?
Yeah, it's Gene Shepard, I think, wrote the story.
Have you found any new holiday films this year?
No, but to be fair, I haven't looked, Friday.
I have been looking, and I have not. The Hallmark ones, or whatever those ones are, they make them all year round. I don't identify with a lady shopkeeper who wants to fall in love with a fella.
No.
But I don't believe any woman I know could watch those movies.
He runs a short man's clothing store.
He runs a short. She's looking for someone taller. Down here. Hey, lady, down here.
Under the rain. Oh.
Under the raincoat. He's short. She's a normal sized woman.
He's a serial sexual abuser.
He's a short and compact serial sexual abuser. He's got what is it when they say his alarm? He's got a record alarm long.
As long as his arm.
As long as his arm. I wish I could have lived during the time period where you had Cagney and he was like, hey, what do you say? I would have been one of those gangsters. How you doing there, Josh? Hey, get out of my way. I'm trying to walk. I'm trying to walk.
That's like Popeye almost you're doing.
Yeah, see?
What's that about? Oh, you dirty rats. Oh, you see, you've killed my brothers.
See, you can't do you can't do what I do. Poorly performed.
Oh,
you're too good.
Oh, top of the world, man. Oh.
Hey, come here. What does Cagney do? He puts a lemon in a woman's face. What is that one? He squeezes a lemon.
I think it might be a grapefruit.
Yeah. In those days, that's what women liked.
Now your breakfast. Oh wait, that's a different movie.
Is that Wonderful Life?
No, that was Odd Couple. No, it's garbage.
Is Jack Lemmon ever hilarious?
Jack Lemmon gets to funny. I don't think it gets to hilarious.
Yeah,
but there's plenty of bad. There's some bad Jack Lemmon performances in my estimation.
I can't think of them all. Well, one was Mr. Roberts. That was good, right?
The Apartment is great, but there's there are some roles to which he brings his Jack Lemmoniness, and it doesn't really work for the role.
Yeah, and I don't think he's not particularly funny. I mean, well, of course you can't compare the Felix thing because we've already talked about how the Felix. You would think of Jack Klugman and Tony Randall when you think of those two.
Well, you do. Again, you think everybody is you.
Look, I told you. You know what? I checked out my theory with a philosopher.
Yeah.
About that. He said, no, you're right. You're onto something. Everybody's your age. Everybody went to the same bar mitzvah.
I think, therefore, I'm me.
Yeah, I think, therefore, I'm me. Yeah, no, and you know what they like about it, the philosophers? It's real complex. It's real intellectual sounding, see?
We have some questions.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah.
I know where you're going with this.
To questions?
Yes, because then we won't, then then we'll be able to, I know, I don't have to say it again.
We're taking Christmas off is the point.
Yeah! Don't take it personally.
I took it a little personally.
I know, the way I said that last time, it was like, oh, I'll tell you one thing I won't have to deal with. Any questions on Christmas?
Yeah.
Christmas is now going to be question-free. Enjoy it as you please. Nobody, you know what's not going to happen on Christmas? Sue Veet says, what's happening? Okay, I can't go down this route. I'll just alienate everybody within 10 minutes and we'll all be miserable.
Then we'll call it a wrap in 2020.
No, not us. We're going on, baby.
Sethwick III says Mama Dick III got Disney Plus, discovered Wizards of Waverly. She would like you to flesh out the backstory and origin story of Chancellor Tootie Tootie.
It's Chancellor Rudy Tootie Tootie. I hate to correct you. I don't have a backstory. I mean, I'm a wizard. He's a wizard. And, I think the backstory is that when there was the writer's strike, they wrote more stuff for the kid shows. It came from the writer's strike. I'm sorry. Okay, Rudy Tootie Tootie. He studied with the 12th Squadron. I don't have anything to say, but I will say that it was funny when I was doing the show that I messed up a lot of the special effects that where I was supposed to make a face or go to a spot, I screwed it up like 5 times. So in other words, I was supposed to make a face that would be appropriate with a magic happening in front of me.
All right, and you looked like you were taking a shit.
I looked like I didn't do it at the right time. But anyway, they all said I was a wonderful actor as I was leaving.
Torben Rolfson says, do you have any thoughts on fellow Minnesotans Al Franken and Tom Davis? I loved Franken and Davis, the late Tom Davis. They are both not just fellow Minnesotans, but fellow St. Louis Park people.
Wow.
My same suburb. But I've always loved Al Franken. I've always also thought he's probably an asshole. I think he's getting a little doddering lately when I see him.
Where do you see him? Like on TV?
Like on MSNBC now.
Hmm.
And I don't know if that's the disconnect from the Zoomness of it.
Right.
But he's a little less connected. He's a little more doddering now when I see him.
Well, what does that put me? What is he? He's my age or something.
He's older than you.
I just wanted to establish that. Yeah, he does. Well, I just think he was so done wrong that it's like getting hit in the head. I mean, what happened to him was, I think, as close to a setup as you can get in a way.
I think it was, but I also feel like the swiftness with which he withdrew says that there's probably some shit to that.
I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean,
granted, the climate was not right for a guy to fight such a thing.
Right, but yeah.
But
he was pressured, though, I think. I think he was pressured very, very heavily.
I think he was pressured by the Democrats, yeah.
Right, but I still don't, I'm not convinced there was anything to that story. In fact, the original story was, I mean, the woman was working at a right-wing station and she...
Yeah, no, I think she was absolutely put up to it. I think that the photograph thing was completely in poor taste, but within context of a comedy USO troupe, whatever. It's a stupid joke.
Right.
But I don't know what the other things were.
It's very hard for me, these type of things, because I really kind of like them, and I don't, her story doesn't sound, who knows? You just don't know. You do not know. And plus I have my biggest problem is everything's black and white. So he's either a demon or a good person, and it's just not the way I judge others is the way I judge myself.
Yeah. But I sure miss him in the Senate.
Yes, he was excellent. He was an excellent senator. I mean, he's not the most articulate, like, I've even noticed since he's come back, he seems a little bit slow on the uptake more.
That's what I mean.
That's what you're saying.
That's what I mean by doddering, yes.
Yeah, I was wondering what doddering means, but I guess, yeah.
But you're a little slow on the uptake.
Either one of them I wouldn't say about him, because now I feel like, I just did say it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm done now. I'm done because he's not gonna talk to me now after this.
Probably not. No.
Yeah, because he listens to the podcast. My OCD fear about who would listen to the podcast, it doesn't even make any sense. Gee, I hope Obama doesn't hear that show 182.
All right. I'm reading his book still, by the way.
And are you enjoying it?
I am, actually, yeah. He's a good writer, and he's being, pretty candid about a whole lot of stuff he was feeling and observing.
As you know, I'm a big fan.
I am a big fan, and I'm actually tiring of him because of his current media blitz. But
yeah, I know what you mean. I know.
I tire of him less on the page than I do on a podcast right now.
Yeah, I know what you mean, though. It's the nature of the promotion beast.
It is the nature of the beast, and it's also kind of like the timing isn't great. This should be Biden time.
Well, is he still promoting his book?
Yeah.
So what? I don't know. You know what? I can't look at him. I can't. I shouldn't be allowed to talk about.
I'm sorry. I don't want to black and white him before you.
What? The book's long too, is what people say.
It is quite long. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not pledging to get to the end of it, but I probably will.
But you could also nutshell it, as they say as John Worcester said. Nutshell it.
Yeah, but it really is the little stuff that makes it a worthwhile book. Because I know what happened in his term,
So do you have any of those examples that you'd like to relay to the crowd?
No, I'll try to prep some for next time it comes up.
Okay. I'll make a note of it? No.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, pee-pee. Yeah, cool.
Tweet Pahara seems to have a Yahoo Serious trilogy of tweets here. So I guess I'll give them all three, since they're all on one topic. After his career fizzled, Yahoo Serious changed his name to Yahoo Serious Drinking Problem.
I hope that's not true, because then it's mean.
Maybe Yahoo Serious would have had a longer comedy career if he called himself Yahoo Humorous. And then later in his career, Yahoo Serious tried to attract a better corporate sponsor by changing his name to Google Serious.
I don't even get that one.
Yahoo.
Oh, yo, Google from Yahoo. Oh my God. That's some good stuff, I say.
Yeah, well, he knew his audience.
He knew his audience. No, he's not. That's not for you, Josh.
It wasn't.
These
I didn't
jokes.
feel like it was for me, really. I really
No,
didn't.
those jokes are.
Yeah, that was.
It's like secret code.
Yeah, that was Kindler kissing.
Ooh. I'm not saying this. Tweet. You would have every right to go after Josh so hard that not Tweet Bahara 4 would be in the back coming up.
I'll hit you so hard it'll come out your Tweet Bahara 4.
By the time you recover, be not Tweet Bahara 2.0 times up. Beep, 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 beep.
Stephen Elton Yates is here to say the German chemist Robert Bunsen and physicist Gustav Kirchhoff discovered cesium in 1860 by the newly developed method of flame spectroscopy. If you could hear either acoustic or electric music the rest of your life, which would you choose?
That's non sequitur.
It's one of the. It's a Yates.
I go with acoustic. No, I don't know. I don't know, Josh. I don't know. I'd get tired of either acoustic or electric.
I'm gonna go with acoustic.
Why?
Because you get a much wider range. You get all the jazz in that way. You get horns. You get violins. You get pianos.
Sure. You have to go with that because it's just it increases your vocabulary, I would like to say.
And you can do it with the power out.
And see.
Jumpy Bean says, hi. You know that scene from Dances with Wolves when Kevin C crawls around in the dust like a buffalo and they all start saying, Tatanka? That still makes me laugh. Happy holidays and thanks for all the cheer every week.
Well, thank you for that holiday message, and I will again, or for the first time, admit that I've never seen Dances with Wolves.
Tatanka!
Maybe it's your delivery, Josh.
It might be, but I think you might want to see it.
Is it a good movie?
It is a good movie. It's it's not a fast movie, but it's a good movie.
Man, I need to see that because you got to fill out the form at one point, and you got to do that's on the list.
M. Ledsome.
Hi, M. Ledsome.
From across the pond, saying, "Merry Give It a Shot Day, gents."
You don't have to convince me. It's Josh who's anti-Christian. I love it. I'm ready to convert.
No,
should that become necessary?
You don't even understand her fucking joke.
Mary, give it a shot?
Yeah, Mary, give it a shot day. What's your only Christmas story?
I refuse to know that this is going around now, that people remember this as, Andy, tell the give it a shot story.
Well, sorry.
How about national? What we remember when Andy really did start to have dementia.
You've told it on this show like 30 times. You told it on the Trace and Frank thing last week.
I apologize for my lack of brains.
Well, then, just be aware that other people know and they're going to reference it, and you should laugh.
That's not my problem. My problem is I think I'm so fucking clever that the stupid joke I came up with, I don't even remember what I said. Mary, you think, I thought she was saying something about your about that you were Jewish. So I didn't even hear anything. I go right into, wait till I come back with this. So it's just bad. It's bad on every level, folks. I feel bad for you people. It's not me. Look, I have to live with it every day, but Josh has to hear it and Susan has to hear it.
I have to, but you people?
Yeah, I have. But you? I mean, I know I'm obnoxious, but I don't feel it to the same degree as the people who it's directed towards.
Well, how about Barb, who says, no question, guys, but wanted to wish you happy holidays and say thanks for keeping me company through the year from hell.
Yay! Thank you, Barb. And next year, we know, by definition, will not be as bad as this year. Or we hope.
Yeah, probably won't be as bad as this year.
Probably.
There will be horrible things about it, though. Let's just be honest.
I don't want to be honest. I'm not, I'm going to die from are you saying that there's a chance I'm going to die from the vaccine because I'm old? And by the way, what's this bullshit about 75? Why 75-year-olds? It's not fair, Josh.
You can pass.
How about this? Oh, okay.
Chaotic Neutral. Hey guys, didn't have time to think up a gag for the Christmas show. Just want to thank you for helping us get through 2020 in one piece. Also curious how you made out on gifts. Andy, what did you ask Santa for this year? Josh, same question, but with the BTK killer.
It surprises me every time. That's the fourth time probably, right?
At least.
Me and the wife decided not to exchange gifts, but we are ordering things online that we like. And the next thing that we're thinking about is getting a good blender, but we don't want to spend $500 for a blender. So Santa, send me a good blender that's not $500.
Yeah, you don't need to. You really don't need to spend $500 on a blender.
Well, how much do we need to spend? Do you think?
Probably $100.
Okay, I'll take your rate. I'll take your recommendations.
How many? Well, really, honestly, how many speeds do you need in your blender? Especially since you have two food processors.
We don't use them though.
Right. Well,
we don't use the food processors.
Maybe you don't fucking need a blender.
Well, no, we need it for these. We like these smoothies.
What happened to your bullet of health?
It broke, the bullet. How'd you know we had the bullet?
Because you talk about everything.
No, the bullet broke down so fast. It didn't make my head spin, but it made me very, very angry.
Yeah.
I guess they break down a lot, these things.
The cheap TV blenders.
No, any of these, even the. Oh my God, you are like a you're like a rich person who's gloating because the poor people can't afford a good blender. Is the way I'll prefer to portray it.
Right, okay. You're a person who has two food processors and thinks that they're nothing.
No, you said that exactly right. I think I'm nothing. That's what I fear. I have two food processors. Meanwhile, I'm nothing. So what's the point? You think the food processors are going to make me happy? Should I get a third thing I can't operate?
There are people in India chopping their food manually.
We just need to step it up a little bit. I don't think we have to go full food processor. Is that what you make smoothies in? Is a food processor?
No, a blender's better for that. That's true.
Okay, thanks.
But you don't need a blender with any real features. Is my point.
Well, the brand name
just go for solid, a wearing solid kind of thing.
That's what we'll do. But this one, the brand is called Bells and Whistles.
Yeah. I want a Bell and Howell tactical blender.
We want a blender that also provides us with crushed ice. I mean,
But
from
you
a separate
can't
part.
crush it under a truck. The Bell and Howell Tactical Blender.
Is that from the commercial?
Yes.
Is there a Bell and are you telling me there's a Bell and Howell I should look into?
Not a blender. No, they make a bunch of other shit. Sorry, I hit a commercial you haven't seen.
I hate that guy with the gloop. He has some kind of goop.
Look at my goop. Look at it. I can put something on it and fasten it with this goop.
I think take that one back to the shop.
No, I don't have to take it back to the shop. All I gotta do is put this goop. It's goop. The guy's selling a fucking goop. It comes out of a container. It looks like it's the stuff you used to put on your hands when you were working that would take the dirt off. That's what it looks like. And I'm sick of it. You know who I can't stand? And I don't even know anything about him, is I can't stand that Dirty Jobs guy.
It's not the TV shows, it's the commercials.
It's the commercials. But that Dirty Jobs guy, God, I can't. He's a right wing. Okay, forget it.
Mike Rowe. Brian R. says, no question, just the thanks that I was able to put my thought spiral gain James Mason Thunderbird wine knowledge to use on the RiffTrax Discord server today. Discord is a chat program. By sharing his wonderful Thunderbird wine commercial. Happy holidays.
Well, see what we do. We bring
I'm so
people
glad
together.
we could help you, yes. And while you're sitting there on your RiffTrax Discord server, perhaps a glass of Thunderbird wine. It's got an interesting... You'll enjoy Thunderbird wine because it's got an interesting taste.
I can't understand why you are endorsing this really cheap wine. It doesn't seem right to me, James.
I believe that we bring a certain amount... We elevate each other. I elevate its prestige, and it elevates my mood with its interesting taste and high alcohol content for a wine.
Is it fortified?
Oh, of course it's fortified. And I ain't talking minerals and vitamins, people.
He sounds so formal, even when he uses the word ain't.
It's my training. Brian says, I just watched It's a Wonderful Life for the first time. I watched the colorized version. Does that count, or do I need to watch the black and white version now?
Who would ask a question like that? That just sounds like a crazy man. Is that a real question?
I don't know.
I would never watch a colorized version of a film that I'd never seen before that was a classic film. I guess if it's the only one that's offered, right?
Yeah, I mean, would you go the other way? You'd watch it black and white and then watch it colorized?
No, I would. Well, I guess you're right. My whole point is, I think the point that should be made.
I think you probably got the gist of the movie, but you didn't get the movie. Is how I look at it. You know, obviously the performances are there, but when something is intended by the artist to be looking a certain way, you know, they didn't shoot it thinking it's going to be in color and then, oh, darn it, it's all in black and white. You know, they shot it knowing it was black and white, and therefore lit it for that, and all the cinematography was based on a black and white palette. So, you know, so I feel sort of strongly that colorization is honky bullshit, but you know, you still saw the movie. I'm not gonna be that big a prick about it.
Is it all Ted Turner generated? Would there not have even been colorizing without Ted Turner, or is it something that was bound to be tried and
I think he just provided a market for it for a time.
Yeah. God, I'm glad. You know, it would never work with me because I love black and white. I mean, it reminds me of a better childhood or something. You know what I mean? It's like Andy Griffith. I'm already laughing when I see Andy Griffith in black and white.
Well, someone said, and I don't remember who said it, but it was an interview I was saying, and they were saying how black and white, just by its very nature, is already one level more metaphor.
Oh, that's a good way to say it too. I think that's true. Very well put. So I know I didn't say it.
But you know, I think I have found it sort of interesting to see like those colorized I Love Lucy episodes and stuff that they do once in a while. And I think they did, Dick Van Dyke. They've done a few of them, and it is interesting to see those sets in color almost,
Yeah, that would be. I haven't seen any of them.
Because that's, it's something that you've seen so familiarly one way.
Yeah, I wouldn't want
that it's a fun novelty. But, that's because there was 100 episodes of something,
and some shows were in both.
It's 3-camera TV, so it's kind of besides the point, the cinematography, frankly. But with a film,
some shows were in both, right?
Some shows switched.
Yeah.
Like Bewitched started as black and white and went color. My Three Sons did. I'm just saying the ones I remember from when I was a kid, which had both in reruns.
Right on.
Wookie Talkie says, Happy holidays. I watched It's a Wonderful Life, and I knew Potter's line this time. It was more fun to watch because of Thought Spiral.
I think this is what I want to hear. I don't want to hear the ones that say, why is Andy so it sounds like he lost a bet. Something like
that. What?
Do you sweeten these? I mean, add more words to them is what I'm asking you.
I do. I double up yours. Wookie Talkie also says maybe we can fix Take the Money and Run if we make Willy Wonka the detective. He ain't gonna let those two escape justice. They're gonna fall in chocolate just like Augustus.
I lost you for a second. I didn't hear everything you said, as opposed to where I space out.
I'd circle back, but it's not going to help anyone really. Larry Harold says, Hey fellas, thanks for the great 2020 of spiraling. Any chance James Mason and Howard Cosell could duet on Old Lang Syne?
Well, let me tell you something right now. Howard Cosell would love to sing Old Lang Syne.
Why do you always have to say your name? I don't understand.
This because I am identifying myself as this is Howard Cosell. Tonight I'm with the great movie actor, James Mason. James?
Yes, hello, Howard.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Are
you ready to sing?
I haven't seen you since the Roberto Dubuisson fight.
Yes, I think you're referring to the match, very famous match, between Tito Fuentes of the Republic of Smokey and, as you just said, James, Roberto Dubuisson.
I believe he is from the Republic of Domingo, I thought. But...
That's Tonight, Tito Puentes from the Republic of Domingo and Roberto Dubuisson of Peru.
Yes, Happy New Year's to you, Howard, and...
Happy New Year to you. I would love to sing a duet.
Should old acquaintance be forgot?
And never brought to nigh.
Excuse me, what was that you just said there?
Never brought, I don't know the words.
Hey. Brought to nigh.
I'm pretty sure it's not and never brought to nigh.
I believe he said brought to nigh.
Yeah, that can't be right.
We'll drink a cup of Schmengish juice for Old Lang Syne.
For Old Lang Syne. This has been Howard Cosell on the scene of the New Year's Eve Memorial Coliseum.
Please, in this new year, do not let yourself be brought to nigh.
James, I'm going to punch you in the face.
I'd like to see you give it a shot, Jew.
Wow. And Jew scene. And anti-Semitism.
Yo 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 yo. I don't feel like you helped that much there.
Because I'm not talented.
Well, Yoshi just pulled a fast one on us and went DM with his question, which means it's not going to be a short one. So he says, "Happy holidays, you two fine Jews, and as a gift to you, I'd like to tell you about T20 cricket. Not all cricket is days long. That is called test cricket, which sounds more like Andy working a soundboard, but that's the name. T20, on the other hand, is several hours long, like a baseball game, and is the fastest growing form of cricket. And frankly, is more exciting than baseball as pure sport because each team bats at once. Simplified, each team has one long inning. The entire second half is one team protecting their lead, which they always have by default because that team bats first. It adds a unique layer of suspense and strategy to who gets to bat first or last, and since individual batters can keep hitting as they don't get out, you see incredible performances that involve multiple sixes, the equivalent of home runs, in a row from the same person. It's worth watching at least once."
I can't believe a sport that is so easily summed up is not more popular.
I know, it's amazing. I found that excruciating, Yoshi, and don't ever try to sell a sport to me again.
Oh my God, Josh! He's one of our regulars. Yoshi, what am I, chopped liver? You can't DM me with your cricket material? Never sell a sport. No sport pitches by DM on my account.
That's it. Penny Feather Best Name says, "Listening back to April Thought Spirals, I lost my father recently, and hearing Josh and Andy converse has been so therapeutic. Andy is as emotionally as honest as he can be, and Josh is just perfectly sharp, funny, patient, and kind. I feel so lucky to have found this show." Well, that's a closer.
Oh, that is so nice. I'm sorry.
Very sorry to hear about
died.
your father.
Yeah, very sorry about that. But I'm glad that it is. I mean, it's hard to even express that. That's what we would like to have happen with the show without like saying, "Andy, you'll go on every week and you'll talk about your family and people will love it."
Right.
I somehow ruined that beautiful letter.
No, you did not. You did not, good. My little friend.
Thank you, Josh. I'm not so bad as I think. Hey, Josh, maybe one day I will be president. Maybe I am smart like the others, huh?
I'll tell you about the rabbits again later.
Well, I'm very happy about that. Is that the closing letter?
I think it should be.
That is so wonderful. And let that be a lesson to the rest of you who aren't saying these, who don't write me and say I've saved you and things like. Go ahead, Josh. Tell the people about how they can get in touch with us during the off week.
Sure. You want to write to us? It's at thoughtspiralshow@gmail.com. If you want to support the show, go to buymeacoffee.com/thoughtspiral. Thank you to all those who have been buying us coffees, for the holidays. And, if you want to, hear a funny album by a funny man, try Andy Kindler's Hence the Humor.
Well, thank you, Mr. Josh. That's very kind of you.
If you want to see a well-crafted documentary about a fascinating guy, see my new doc, Michael DeBar, Who Do You Want Me to Be? True. And here's another bonus. The Fiddling Horse, starring Andy Kindler, J. Elvis Weinstein, and Paula Lindbergh, is now available on Amazon Prime.
That is such a nice thing. And if you would hang up on me to the tune of Drummer Boy, and I come to you, pa-ra-pa-pa-pa.
Peace on earth, I'll hang up now.
Pa-ra-pa-pam-pa.
Should old acquaintance be forgot?
And never brought to nigh.